Hey vinyl community, it's Phil at Destination Vinyl from Fraser Valley, British Columbia, Canada. This is the first part of my series I talked about recently where I'm going to do A through Z, all my albums, and then I'll have a separate section for K-Tells and soundtracks and things like that. The reason I'm doing this is not so much to show it off, but I've in the last few months entered all my collection on Discogs. And looking through it, after reviewing it once I got done, I realized that I've missed some somehow. So I don't know how I did that, whether some were stuck to each other or in a box somewhere that I can't find. That's quite possible. I have moved everything from upstairs to downstairs a few months back. So I'm going to go through this A through Z, then I can replay it later on as I get time and go through my Discog catalog and figure out what I've missed and where and how and why and add it to it. So I'm going to hope to do this in 10 videos. They might be a little bit long. Today I hope to do A and B. There's a lot. I've been collecting since I was 12. I'm now just a month shy of 58. So there's a lot of albums here. There's over 1,200. I recently did a purge of 150 odd albums I just don't listen to anymore, or they're not in good shape, or I don't know why I had them in the first place. Maybe they were just recommended or came in boxes of, when I bought random collections from people. So I'm just going to go through these A to Z, and here we go. So, A. Lee Aaron, Canadian rocker, her first, well, this is not her first album, this is her second album. She actually did her first album, was listed as the Lee Aaron Project, which is a mega hard album to find. And then we have Metal Queen. If you don't know Lee Aaron, if you live outside of Canada, you might not have heard of her. She is just a real hard rocker. And I have a third one by her, Call of the Wild. Those are all three excellent albums. And then I come to Abba. I've got a few by Abba. Not my favorite group, but I got a few by them. Arrival. And pardon me, I got the infamous Greatest Hits album, Gatefold. I remember I bought this at Jack Cullen's music store in Brentwood Mall in Burnaby back in when it came out. That's when everybody was buying that damn thing. And I've got a nice copy of Voulez-Vous. And what does this have on it? Chiquitita? Yeah, I got your mother. No. I may lose that one. I don't know. I don't really play it. And because all those songs are on this one, Greatest Hits Volume 2. So, do I really need Voulez-Vous? Yeah. We'll see. I may do another purge once I'm done going through these. AC. Oh, we got AC/DC. Got 30D's Done Dirt Cheap. It's the Australian version on Albert Productions label. And I got the North American re-release. Never did like that cover. And I got the Australian release on Albert Productions of TNT. And we have North American release of High Voltage. I'm looking for the Australian release. It's got a different cover. It's got a red cover with, I think, a power panel, a fuse box or something like that on. I saw it once years and years ago and would like to find a copy of that. Let There Be Rock. That's a great, great album. Almost as great as this, Power Ridge. That's just, oh, that was my introduction to AC/DC, this one, I think. And If You Want Blood, their live album. This is one live album that should have been a double album. I mean, this is just kick-ass, that album. I wish that had been a double. Highway to Hell. Back in Black. For Those About to Rock. I mean, AC/DC had some just really bad covers. That was not a great one. Flick of the Switch, which I feel is a greatly underrated album. I really enjoy this one. And then, I think that was after that, they came out with this. thing, Fly on the Wall. Shake Your Foundations maybe was a good song. Hell or High Water. But really, I think that's just a pretty slapdash album. I never really cared for that one. The soundtrack from Who Made Who, which has mostly old songs on it, other than Who Made Who, but that's not a bad little compilation album. And the new one, Power Up. This is fantastic. If you haven't heard this yet, get it. Borrow it from someone. It is a great album. Well, Brian Johnson sounds so good in that album. And where do we go? We go to Local Kid Made Good, Bryan Adams. This is debut. I met Bryan Adams once when he was still 16 or 17. He was flipping burgers at a joint in North Vancouver called Tomahawk Grill. And singing away in the background, and I was on my job driving, and I walked in and I'm like, who the hell is that kid singing in the back? He says, well, it's Bryan Adams, thinks he's going to be a rock star. Who knew, right? We all have our roots start somewhere. Bryan Adams, If You Want It, You Got It. That's a good album too. A lot of people sort of don't really like to admit they collect Bryan Adams anymore. I don't know why, since he went all soft with his ballads after that god-awful song, Everything I Do It For You, from, was that from Robin Hood, I think? I don't know. And it was an awful song, I think, in my opinion. Cuts Like a Knife. That was a great album too. Then he did this sort of 3-song EP with his song Diana, and he did Summer of '69 on the back, and he did a mix of a bunch of songs all together. And the one that really broke him internationally, Reckless. Really good album. And his last one that I've got, the last one that, again, seems to get a bit of a bad rap, is Into the Fire. People generally shied away from this one for some reason, and it sort of has the reputation of Into the Outdoor and albums like that. And Soft Parade by the Doors, it's just sort of frowned upon a bit. I don't understand why. I think it's a good album. And I remember once Pete Pardo on the Sea of Tranquility, arguably the best channel on YouTube. I watch it almost every day. Love the channel. He's just brilliant. But he once described listening to Adele as going into a dark place. Not my opinion. I like Adele. I think she's got a great voice. So I've got all 3 of hers, 19, 21, and 25. I think the lady's got a great voice. I don't know if she's recording anymore or not. I haven't heard anything from her in a few years. We move up to Aerosmith, first album. That was really good. I like that one. Get Your Wings. I thought a little step up from the debut, but that's just my cell phone text. Toys in the Attic. This was brilliant, and maybe their best. My favorite of theirs anyway is Rocks. That's just a fantastic album. Draw the Line. A little step down, maybe. I thought. I'd like to find an upgrade of this cover. The cover's got some ringware on it, and I don't know, these white album covers after I've had it for years, it's even got, I think it's mold growing on it. I can't show it. It's got some brown splotching on it. Doesn't seem to be growing any worse, but it's there. My Queen Night at the Opera is the same way. The cover is just sort of mottled. It had no water damage, so I don't know where this is coming from, but I gotta find upgrades on those. And then Night in the Ruts. Not a bad album, wasn't my favorite of theirs. And then they came out with this one, Rock in a Hard Place, and I sort of lost interest in them for a while. I do have one more. I don't really listen to this album. It's Permanent Vacation. It got rave reviews, so I bought it. It's got Dude Looks Like a Lady, Angel, which I don't care about. Ragdoll, I don't like that song. I don't know, that may not survive my my next purge. I don't really play that one at all. And I've got the Alarm Declaration. This was recommended to me by my friend who owns a record shop, Crazy Bob. And he said, "You'll like this. You'll like this. You really will like this. These guys really rock." And I looked at the back cover and these guys with the funky, poofy 80s hair, and I don't know. I should have listened to my instincts. I don't really care for that album. That's going to be part of my second cull, I think. We go to old school, America, greatest hits. And I had all of America's albums at one point, and then I saw this and thought, yeah, that's all I really need from them. They did have this one album later on, View from the Ground. This has got You Can Do Magic and Desperate Love and Right Before Your Eyes, which is a good song. That's about all I listened to on that album. Let's go into Angel City, great Australian group. Face to Face, I love this album. This is fantastic, good rocker. 2 Minute Warning, same thing, really good, solid rocking album. Nothing outstanding on that one, but it is really, really good. Dark Room, same thing, just good all the way through. Nothing outstanding, but really good album all the way through. And this one, I remember I wasn't going to buy this until I saw that he was the drummer for Rod Stewart back in the 70s, Carmine Apiece. And yeah, really good drum-laden album. Sweet Senorita is a fantastic song. There isn't really a bad one on here in my opinion, but really good drum-laden album. I don't know if he did any other solos. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Then we go back to Canada. April Wine Live. This is not a bad album. It's an early one. Doesn't really have that many hits that I would say. I'm on Fire for Your Baby was a big radio hit here. You Could Have Been a Lady was a good hit. I don't really know any other songs on there. I played it. I'm okay. But it was interesting to hear it live. I'd keep that one. April Wine Greatest Hits. Everything on here is a great song. I saw somebody once on another channel down from American, and he says, don't they actually have to be hits to be on the greatest hits? Well, they were hits up this side of the border, and that's where it counts to us, because they're our band. And they're from Nova Scotia, I think, although Miles Goodwin, the lead singer, is quite often seen sporting a Montreal Canadiens jersey. Maybe they record there. And then Harder, Faster, they got a bit harder, right? After their greatest hits, they came out with a harder edge. And this guy here, Jerry Mercer, greatly underrated drummer, in my opinion. Just a beast on the drum kit. I saw them live once. Can't remember who was backing them up. They were at the Pacific Coliseum here in Vancouver. And this guy walks out in a black muscle shirt with the sleeves torn off, and just a t-shirt with the sleeves torn off. Looks like the village blacksmith. Just a beast on the drums. Man, he was good. And April Wine again. Nature of the Beast. That's one of my favorite album covers. You can see it without the glare, maybe. It's the guy's body with the lion head. It's just an awesome album cover. And that had Sign of the Gypsy Queen on it, which was a big hit for them. And Just Between You and Me, Wanna Rock, All Over Town, Big Seagull. This is just a great album. And then came up with Power Play. And there's the picture of Jerry on the drums. Just an awesome drummer, just a beast. That's my April Wine collection. And I bought this one because my wife wanted it, and she wanted to have some Christmas music around the house, and I didn't really have any on vinyl. And so I got a Jan Arden Christmas. This was on gorgeous red vinyl. This is a really nice looking album. Let me pull it out and show you. I'm not a fan of Jan Arden myself. Not a big fan of Christmas music personally, but my wife saw it and says, you should get this. You should have this in your collection. Okay. Gorgeous red vinyl. How did that get put away like that? That'll fall out. So that was to satisfy my wife. And Well, we did play it a couple times this past Christmas. Couldn't have people over, so we must have some sort of Christmas spirit in the house. And this hard rock album, Armored Saint. I had a buddy who played this for me on his cassette. And yeah, I really like those guys. I said, wow, I've never heard of these guys. And I don't know what it is like in areas where you personally are, but I find that hard rock and heavy metal albums are really, really hard to find at these record fairs and stores. If they do get released from a collection or come up used, they're snapped up fast because they're just so much in demand. I mean, they made, I don't know how many of these things when they were printed out originally, but someone must be hoarding them and keeping them because they're, like I said, really hard to find. That's one of my favorite albums, Asia. That is just a fantastic album. I think everybody knows that one. It was really popular when it came out. This one was a little bit of a disappointment. Alpha by Asia. Not as hard as the other one. I enjoyed it, but not as much as the other one. It was a little bit of a letdown. The Association, Greatest Hits. Great ones on here. That's just a classic old 60s compilation, 60s, early 70s. And let's see, where do we go? That's it for A. Unless I have any on the back wall. I have Alice Cooper. You might see $1 Billion Babies back there, but I got Alice Cooper filed under C for some reason. For the purposes of this video, I'll keep it that way, but I may change it back to A when I'm done. And that, by the way, Alice Cooper is an upgrade copy. I had one here that I bought for $4, as is, once because I had it on CD and not vinyl and I wanted it. So I thought I'll buy it and get an upgrade copy when I can. I picked that one up just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so on to B. Bachman Turner Overdrive. Ask Brave Belt. So this was before BTO. Yeah. It's not a bad album. It's okay. The back cover. Ilk. And this was their debut. This is an original pressing. Not bad. You could see the promise that was there. Give Me Your Money Please is a real hard rocker. Blue Collar, a bluesy one. Don't Get Yourself in Trouble is a good song. Thank You for the Feeling. Not a bad album for a debut. Not in the Boston rankings as albums go, but it was not a bad debut. And then we got number 2. And all these albums are in really good shape on my BTOs. I got Taking Care of Business, Let It Ride, or on this one. Good album. And then this one, Head On. This is where they really started to rock, in my opinion. I love this one. That's a great album. And then my 2 favorites of theirs. Not Fragile. God, this thing is just a hard album. This one is great. And Four Wheel Drive. Man, and Fred Turner just belting out Four Wheel Drive. Great hard album, that one. And then I found this one a few months back, the Japan Tour Live. Again, I wish this had been a double album too. So many good single live albums that could have been, extended into doubles. Just record the whole concert. Like Cheap Trick at Budokan, they released that single album back in '79, I want to say it was. Great album. And it wasn't until, last year or so that I found there was actually the whole recording available, and I got that one as well. Best of VTO so far. This is an unautographed copy. I ran into Randy Bachman at a record fair 3 years ago, and my older brother was looking for a copy of this. He had it on CD. He was looking for a copy of this he got back into vinyl, and I found a good copy and pulled it out and said, oh wow, there it is. And I pulled it out, take the album out, and got a dust cloth with me and just looking over, said, wow, this is a score. It was only like $5. It's a score. And the guy next to me, while I'm looking at it, says, oh, you like that one, do you? Huh? Says, oh yeah, I got a mint copy at home, my original. This is a first pressing. My older brother's been looking for a copy on vinyl for ages, and says, wow, this is a great score. And he says, oh, would you like me to autograph for you? Look over. Oh, "Hi, Mr. Bachman." He says, "Oh, it's Randy." Whips out a Sharpie. He says, "Want me to write your name on this?" I said, "No, no, it's for my brother." He says, "You sure it's for your brother?" I said, "It's for my brother." And he wrote to my brother on it, and BTO, and the BTO was, Randy Bachman. BTO goes down from that. Just an awesome man. We talked for a few minutes and we had to move on, but awesome man. Freeways. It's not a bad album. A little bit of a disappointment after Four Wheel Drive, but not a bad album. Then we come into the tail end of their career. Street Action, filmed on Granville Street, downtown Vancouver. It's not bad. It's got a couple of songs on it. And then this, I think, was their last one, Rock and Roll Nights. I didn't. I got this to fill the collection. It's not a great album. And later on, they rejoined together and just came out with Bachman Turner Overdrive. This is a good album. Front to finish, this is a good album. I didn't even know that one existed when I saw it, so what the heck is this? And I picked that up. Live, Live, Live. And it's not a bad recording. It's okay. A couple of songs on there, they do a cover of Mississippi Queen, and but just do your own songs. That's you got enough of them. That again, I would like to see a double album of that. And then we got Randy Bachman, Survivor. Just him solo. Post BTO. So I gotta put those back and get the next bunch out. For the purposes of this video, I've got everything boxed. Since I moved from upstairs to downstairs, I haven't got any shelving yet, so I just have them in boxes. And I'm debating whether to build wooden shelves like I had before, but I can't put them on the wall here because it's got a ledge around it. And I may just have to buy a metal shelf unit from somewhere and pick that up. Oh, and I missed a couple here. I go with these loose because I haven't played them yet. I got those ones I haven't played separate from the others. My one classical album, The Best of Bach, and I got this for the Toccata in Fugue because I just love that organ music. Anyone knows the old classic movie from the 70s, Rollerball, with James Caan and John Houseman? It's the music in that. I just love that. Long John Baldry, It Ain't Easy. Good album. Good album. Then we got Rock with the Best. This one, I remember this one. I haven't played this in a long time. I may have to play that one more time. That might be part of my next call. This one, fantastic album. Baldry's Out. Great album, this one. If you like Long John Baldry bluesy rock, his voice is just great. And Silent Treatment. Good album. Not as good as the others, but a good album. And then one that maybe some people aren't familiar with. This is a Polish singer, and that is Basia, and it's Time and Tide. She's a really good vocalist. I love her voice. Really good tunes. And then she came out with this, her biggest album, London, Warsaw, New York. I love her voice. She's a great singer. And why not? I got Bay City Rollers Greatest Hits. Hey, when I DJ parties and things at our clubhouse, people want to hear that stuff. So Saturday Night Live, people just eat that up. I'll have it, no problem. They're not bad tunes. They're just, you have that stigma of the 70s, cheesy costumes and all that. But not a bad album. Beach Boys, Endless Summer. I know people rave about Pet Sounds, and I just didn't get it. Beach Boys, Endless Summer, that's all I need from them. I don't really care for that surfing music. Bought that when I was a kid. That's the original pressing. There's a couple of songs on there I play. Fun, Fun, Fun is good. I can only take the Beach Boys and that shrill voice so much. Beastie Boys. I bought this for the cover. I think it's a really cool cover. And it's got that one song on it. The only song on the album I like is Fight for Your Right to Party. Not my genre, that. That's all I bought that for the cover. When I do get set up, shelves up and everything, I'm going to frame it and put it up because I just love the cover. Albums that I haven't listened to yet under B. Benatar Tropico. I picked this up, I don't know, in the last month or so. I haven't played that one yet. I stumbled across in my friend's store an almost mint copy of Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. I got this on CD. I wanted it on vinyl. It was hard to find. Stumbled onto that. Haven't played it yet. And then I got the box set. God, this thing weighs a ton. The box set of Garth Brooks' Legacy, which includes his first 4 albums, No Fences. No, it doesn't have his first album. It's got a second album, No Fences, The Chase, In Pieces, and Fresh Horses. Didn't have his debut. I wish they had. I got that on CD, and I want to get rid of it too. I want to get rid of all my CDs into albums. And then Brownsville Station, Air Special. I haven't played this one yet. So those are on tap in queue. That's my in queue section up there. So those will go up there once I've played those. With the bees, onto the Beatles. They're next. I got a ton of these. I'm just going to go through them quickly. And Please Please Me. With the Beatles. Of course, these are all the English versions of them. They're all represses. They're all the English versions. Beatles for Sale, which wasn't released over here, I think, until later. That was just a British release. And then I've got the North American release of Hard Day's Night, and the British release of Hard Day's Night, which is far superior. That's my second favorite Beatles album. That one is, for whatever reason, I just love that album. It just hits a note with me. British version of Help. I don't have the North American version. I didn't bother. 2 versions of Rubber Soul. I've got the English version, and I've got the North American version on Capitol. Revolver. And somehow the white copy, the white on this is surviving. Others it's modeling for some reason. Sgt. Pepper. Yellow Submarine. My White Album, which I would love to find an upgrade off. The albums are fine, but the a lot of ring where this thing's had a lot of play. And curious, when I got this album comes with the 4 posters, the 4 photographs of the band, and I got a John, and I got a Paul, and I got a Ringo, and I got another Paul. I didn't get a George in mine, so that was a mispackage. So I would like to find another copy of that with a better cover and also a George poster. The vinyl itself on this is absolutely fine. It plays perfectly. That is not a numbered copy, by the way. That's just a re-release. Let It Be. Abbey Road. Hey Jude. Got the Hollywood Bowl. And the first 2 albums I ever bought for myself with my own money. The red and the blue compilation sets. I still pull these out and play them occasionally to this day. And my last Beatles one, the Beatles had one of those traveling shows at the PNE, the summer fair here, a few years ago when this came out. God, that was 10 years ago now. And they had this there, and I thought, oh, I gotta have that. So add that to my collection very nicely. And let's see. Oh, I can't lift that many out at once. Okay, more Pat Benatar. In the Heat of the Night. Crimes of Passion. Get Nervous. When Pat Benatar first came out, I wasn't really that big a fan of her. I was more into Joan Jett. And my younger brother got a couple of her albums. There's Live from Earth. That's a good live album. And I wasn't really into her that much. And it wasn't until later years I started to hear all her songs. And, yeah, she's actually got a few hits. And I started buying some albums. And that's Wide Awake in Dreamland. I like this one too. That's a damn good album. B-52s, their first album. That's just fun to put on. That's a good party album. And one there's a VCLT from my friend Jean. Hitch a Ride. Check his channel out, please. Hitch a Ride. Bernard Jean, big Boston fan. His favorite band. He sent me this not that long ago. Cosmic Thing. Good album. I really enjoy that. Thanks again, Bernard. Great album. Now we go into some Southern rock. Blackfoot, band that albums are really hard to find. Tom Catton and Strikes, guys on the back. Really good Southern band, really hard rocking. And I picked this one up a couple of years ago. This is for a live album recorded 2007 in Kentucky. It's called Train Train. Good album. I really like that. That's a pretty good listen. And then we go on to more Black Sabbath. This is a Dutch pressing greatest hits. I'm looking for a copy of Paranoid. Wow, those are hard to find. We were actually at a record store Saturday, my friend Paul and I, another big vinyl collector, and he gets in the new arrival bin just seconds before I get in. I'm still sanitizing my hands, and what's first in line? The almost mint copy of Paranoid. And the guy in the store says, "Yeah, I knew someone would snap that up today. I just put it out an hour ago." God damn it! You know, I missed it by that much. Oh well, he's enjoying it. I'll find another copy one day. And Mob Rules, good copy of that. Excellent hard rock blues band. Well, I won't say hard rock. They're a rock and roll band / blues. The Blasters. These guys just really, really good, fun albums to play. If anyone's ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn, that movie, the vampire movie, that was the intro song to it, Hard Night. And they also had a couple of songs on Bull Durham on the soundtrack. So it's non-fiction. Not the best covers in the world, but it's a really, really good band. And I got Blind Faith with what was, I think, a band cover eventually in Canada. But I got this one. This is a US copy. And I don't know why they made that cover. You couldn't do that nowadays. Blondie, Auto American. Is that the only Blondie album I got? Yeah, her albums are hard to find too. Really popular. Can't find a decent copy of Parallel Lines to save my life. Local Boys, Blue Northern, sort of country rock band. This is their first EP. And then they came out with those songs on this album. It's called Blue Northern. Really good sort of country rock. Had a lot of AM airplay. And then they disappeared. I don't know what happened. I guess they just decided that was it. Went their separate ways, whatever. Blue Oyster Cult. I think I have just about everything that on vinyl that is on vinyl. But their first album. And Tyranny and Mutation, back in their black and white period. This is a great album, Secret Treaties. I searched long and hard for this album for years before I finally found a good copy of it. I love airplanes, especially World War II vintage airplanes, so to get a copy of the Messerschmitt on there was fantastic. I just love that album cover. On Your Feet or On Your Knees. Excellent live album, excellent. This really should have been 2 discs. Spectres, one of my favorites of theirs. Golden Age of Leather, the album starts with a killer song. I play that every party too. That gets everyone raising their glasses. Agents of Fortune, another great album. These guys had so many good albums. Some Enchanted Evening. That was a great. Was this? This was the live album. Yeah, this was the live album. That's a really good one. Cultosaurus Erectus. Good album. I would have bought that one just for the cover alone, even if I hadn't known the band and wanted to collect them. And Fire of Unknown Origin. I'm going to stop saying they're all great albums, Mirrors, because they all are. Extraterrestrial Live. These guys put a lot of live albums. Revolution by Night. That's my Blue Oyster Cult collection. I know they have more albums released, a ton more, but I can't find them on vinyl, and I don't want CDs. So as I find them, I'll get them. Blues Brothers. Briefcase Full of Blues. That's a good fun party album. I didn't really get into the movie all that much. I think I found that they said they're on a mission from God just one too many times for my liking. That's just my opinion, but you know, my wife loves the movie. She'll sit there and howl at that thing over and over again. Joe Bonamassa, great guitarist. This is a new pressing. You and Me, it's called. Not a bad album. Gary U.S. Bond's Dedication. This has the song This Little Girl on it. The whole album is really good. Really good blues rock guy. And Boney M, Night Flight to Venus, another one that I get asked for at parties all the time. I don't play it unless I get asked for it. People just love the intro to that album. And then we come to my friend Bernard's favorite group. Arguably the best intro, first album of all time, arguably. I think it's got my vote. Maybe I'll, 50-50 this and The Doors. Don't Look Back, another excellent album. I just love their cover art. I just love their cover art. Whoever came up with the idea of the guitar as a spaceship was just a genius. And then we have Third Stage, another brilliant cover. And but after this I kind of lost interest in them. I didn't see another album out from them for so long I sort of forgot about them. And I think their next only came out on CDs anyway. And I heard it, I just sort of lost interest in them after those three albums. Sorry, Bernard. David Bowie, Diamond Dogs, my favorite album of his, one of my favorite albums. I think I made my top 10 or 20 list, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at it. I got so many albums. But I just love that album. And then I bought this one, Changes 1, Volume 1, it's got, most of his early hits on it. It's a great, sort of greatest hits album. And Let's Dance, sort of the rebirth of Bowie back in the 80s. This is a great listen too. And I am, thankfully for you, listening to me drone on, getting to the end of this. VR, Best of Bread. I got a bunch of 45s by these guys. Really, this is all I need from them. Canadian singer Charity Brown, big back in the 70s. This is Take Me in Your Arms and Rock Me, Jimmy Mac, Beat Me to the Punch. This is a good album, good easy listen album. More Brownsville Station. This is a self-titled. That's really good. And I just picked this one up recently and played it right away. This is called Yeah. This has got their version of Lou Reed's Sweet Jane on it. I love that song, and they have a really good version. School Punks, which of course has I think this is Smoking in the Boys Room on it. Or is that on the other one? No, that was on yeah. Smoking in the Boys Room was on that one. Yeah. School Punks. Good album. All these are good albums. Canadian band Brutus from back in the 70s. Might not know about these down across the border. What was his name? Walter, can't remember his last name, Wall something, Zwolinski, I think, but he goes by the name was Wall. He had a solo album under that name, but the big hit on this was Ooh Mama Mama. This is a grossly underrated album in my opinion. This is really good listen. Buckingham Knicks, their album before they joined Fleetwood Mac. I don't know, it says collector's item on it, but anything that says collector's item or limited edition is usually put out by the thousands, so it probably isn't. And we're almost at the end. Welsh rockers, Budgie. This is Bandolier. This is a really good hard rock album. And In for the Kill. And I got a best of. These are out of order, obviously. And this is If I Were Britannia, I'd Waive the Rules. They really had interesting cover art with the Budgie head on everything. But this is a power trio from Wales, and man, they are just really hard rocking. Impeccable. And I think I got one more. Yeah, one more. Deliver Us from Evil. I would love to hear a live album by these guys. Their albums are so hard to find. Every time I go to a record fair, when you can have them again, when you can get people in the same room together again, everyone always asks, "You got any Budgie records?" And we usually go on first thing. My last four for this episode: Jimmy Buffett, Living and Dying in 3/4 time. This is an okay album. I really got this for the cover. I thought that was just hilarious. The rotten ship rotting away there. Good luck. I thought that was great. And this is really all you need to know by Jimmy Buffett if you're not a completist. And that's Songs You Know by Heart, greatest hits album. Really good fun tunes. Another good party album. You Had to Be There, a live album. This is a really good live album. This was actually double disc. I hate these single disc live albums. I want doubles. I want to hear the whole concert if you don't mind. Thank you and please. And my last one, local Vancouver artist Jim Burns, Burning. And the man lost both his legs in an electrical accident after a car accident when he was young and has to get around on crutches. But man, the stories he can tell, holy cow. He was the last live performance I saw indoors before COVID hit, in a little studio called Blue Frog Studios. It's actually a recording studio in White Rock. And it would be worth it to go and see him, just to hear him talk and tell the stories about the musicians he's played with and how he met them and what they were like. The hell with the songs. I mean, the songs are fantastic. He's a great live performer. But the stories alone are just... I wish he'd write a book. It's just incredible hearing him talk about Willie Nelson and all these guys that he met, to Ray Charles. And just an old-fashioned storyteller. Wow, this went over time more than what I thought. So I'm going to try and do 2 letters at a time and not hold up and show labels and all that sort of stuff. I'll cut this off and hopefully do C and D together. I'll go through and gauge how many I have of each. I don't want to hold it up on a 2-hour video. This is already 43 minutes. So thank you for watching if you are, and I'll catch you on C and D. Have a good day.